I'm already late, so I'm gonna just not play with my remote and things with the technology, and I'll just start. You guys can hear me. Well, I'm Prathy. I'm quickly just run through the things because it's just 30 minutes and I don't have much time. So just bear with me. As I said, I'm Prathy Kamasani. I'm a Microsoft BI contractor. I work in London. I organize London Power BI user group. Anyone heard Power BI? Okay, good. Anyone heard Excel? Excel, Microsoft Excel. Everyone, yeah. Well, I'm from India. My accent is a tiny bit different. Well, Power BI is the future of Excel. So now, you know. Well, I organize London Power BI user group just like literally 5 minutes away from here. If you fancy some free pizza, free drinks, yeah, you can come over and see what Power BI is if you want to learn about it. I am a MCSE, I'm a Microsoft MVP, but the best qualification about me is I'm a professional selfie photographer. That's just to bring some laughter into the room. I know it's quite late and you don't get that. Well, a bit more information about me is like if you have any questions related to this session or if you have any questions for Power BI or anything, you can always get in touch. And those are my contact details. Oops, I don't want to. So what is Power BI? Because by considering the time, I'm just going to skip few slides. Okay, but if you have any questions, I'm around. You can always come and talk to me, ask me more questions. So the Power BI, as I said, it's the future of Excel. It's a self-service business intelligence tool. So what it enables you to do is, you know, all those Excel sheets you guys have been playing with. You can pull all the Excel sheets into a tool and do some analysis on that. But it's not limited to Excel. You can pretty much import any type of data source. And you can start playing with it. You can analyze it. You can create some nice visualizations, the nice interactive visualizations, and then share it among your organizations or outside the organization. So that's the overall what is the Power BI is. So it's a business intelligence tool. But what you can do is you can do it across your organization as a dashboard, as an interactive, or you can even create your own apps, or you can embed that into the apps. But what it means is it can be used for any, like you can make it as easy as you want or as complicated as you want. So for example, if you wanted to make it really easy, for example, if you look at our COOs or CEOs, they are interested in the dashboards. They are interested in the KPIs. They are interested in looking at the mobile applications. Just, I want this one figure. When I come into my work, the first thing I want is I want this KPI. So for them, they can use Power BI as an app or in their mobile application, or they can have a dashboard when they walk into the office. You have a big screen with the dashboard. For them, we can use Power BI. Or if you're a business analyst or like the person who does all the analysis, but they don't actually like doing the data modeling, who don't want to write SQL or any other programming or developing code, they can use Power BI because they can connect it just by using the pre-built data sources. For example, Analysis Services Cube or SQL Server Database or the repository of all the flat files or the Excel sources or things like that. Or you can create apps. So for example, if you're working in a retail company, your developers can create an app for the business analyst, and they can access the data just by using the app. So it's pretty easy. I'm going to show you a quick demo in a minute. Or if you're a developer like me, and if you wanted to make it really complicated, then you can do that as well. So developers are the ones who create the data modeling. They use the data warehousing capabilities of the Power BI. So they can use Power BI as an ETL tool. They pull all the data into the Power BI, create the model, and make it ready for the analysts or the CEOs or COOs or things like that. So that's just a brief overview of like how different ways you can use the Power BI. So what I'm going to do today is it's a demo focused session. as the session title says, it's compelling visuals. So I'm going to show how quickly we can actually create a dashboard in literally 10 minutes. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some open source data. What I'm doing is I'm getting the data of the price paid data, so all the UK price paid data. If I want, I can get it from 95, but I'm not going to do that, 1995. I'm just going to get from 2017 data. And then I'm going to get Ofsted data. So people who has children or who already bought a property or something like that, they know how the school ratings affects on the pricing and things like that. So I'm going to get the Ofsted data. That's open data as well. And then I'm going to get some data from the Bing Maps API. So I'm going to pull data from the Bing Maps API, again, by considering the time, and then Zoopla API. So all these different data sources. But here, I'm talking about Ofsted price paid data, Excel data source, Ofsted data, CSV, and the Zoopla API, which needs a key. Bing Maps API is quite complicated. So I'm actually, in here, in this demo, I'm using 4 different data sources. I can say not with much knowledge about it, but in a way I've been playing with it, so I do have a bit of knowledge about it. But it's just to show how quickly you can do things. And then if you actually understand your data, if you know exactly what you want out of your data, and if you spend like a couple of days or months, weeks, how nicely you can create your dashboards. That's the aim of this session by considering the time. If I'm running out of the time, somebody please wave the hands, please. So as you can see here, the screen is not great, but I just hope you can see. Well, there you go. I've got, forget those yellow ones because they are just my backups. But it's like we got postcodes data, and the PP27 is the postcode data. Ofsted May 27 is the schools data, and the Zoopla and the other things, we just kind of get it from the internet. Overall, it's a bit blurry, but I'm not going to play with that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire up the Power BI. But before that, let me actually show you where you can get the Power BI. So Power BI desktop, it's free. Even in the Power BI service, there is a free license. So which means now you can go and download the Power BI. It's free. And if you're already familiar with Excel, it's pretty easy. So you can go there and you can download the Power BI. I went over here to get the price paid data, and the Zoopla API information is available out there. So if you have any questions related to that, you can always come and talk to me. So I opened Power BI desktop on my desktop. Once you open it, this is the first window you get it. So there is this get data option. I'm just going to read it loud because you can't see it very well. So there is this get data option. Once you click on the get data, you have it opens up a window with all the data sources. Oh, so over here, I can't see my screen very well either. But anyway, so what I've got here is I've got Excel, CSV, SQL Server, and you name it, there is pretty much every data source is there. You can import data from R, you can import data from Google Analytics, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Well, Instagram is not there, but you can create your own Instagram data source. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is, even though I have so many data sources, I'm just going to go to the boring Excel. I click on the Excel. And wow, this is not great. Where is that? OK, can somebody help me? Because I can't see my screen. It's super blurry. No? OK, so let me see if I zoom in. Will this help? OK, that's better. OK, so where is my desktop? So on the desktop, I should have a VDW. There it is. I just choose all files. It's nice if you spend so much time with your computer, without even looking at it. So, which is, in a way, it's nice. In a way, it explains how boring your life is. All right, so what I did is I clicked on the Excel. I imported data into it. No, my life is not boring, especially with all the selfies, So And I imported the data into this. So once you import the data in there, what you can see is the Power BI is clever enough to understand the format and all those things. If you want, you can change the format and all those things, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to change it. So there is this little edit button here. So if you click on the edit button, it opens up another window called Query Editor. So in Query Editor, it looks exactly same as the Excel. And if you're using Excel 2016, this is get and transform in the Excel 2016. So when you go to the little data tab in the Excel, this is what you see. This is the engine behind it. So what it enables you to do is all the little things like the things we do in Excel, like a pivot, oh God. Okay, now this is better. So like if I go to transform, if I want to do the transport or pivot or replace values, split columns, all those things that we used to go and ask people who are really good with Excel skills. Now you don't need to do that. You can just go, well, even if you are pretty good, you can use this, and just with a single click, you can transform your data very well. You know what I'm going to do is I'm not going to play with this, because with my screen, with the way my screen is. All right, this is, I'm going to exit the Zoom. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I do have a backup copy that I'm going to work with that. So let me just close this. I have a backup copy. So this is the backup copy. And what I got is, let me open the edit queries. So once you go there and see the, you know what, I will just see if I can change the, all right, ignore that. Okay, so this is a backup copy, but you can't see it very well. What I have here is I've got different columns that I just imported from the file. But once you have that file, you can actually have many other data sources. So what you can do is you can just right-click here, add a query, and here you can go and choose all the data sources which I was choosing before. So what I did here, which is quite nice here, is so whenever you do something, it creates a step next to here, as you can see here. Whenever you do any transformation for your data, for example, if you split, if you rename, if you add a new column, if you append a query, if you merged queries, whatever the things you do, it always adds a step there. So which means you can always go back. So you can go back, delete, you can always do these things. So there is a track record of this. So what I've got here is, so when I imported data from the file, it doesn't have any columns. All the column names are column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there is a web page which has the column names. So what I did is I went to call the web page. So if I can see that. This is not fun. Okay, so well, I'll just explain just forget we have a screen here. So what I did is I've got a web page which has all the descriptions there. So for example, if I go here, well, not the example, this is where all the descriptions is. So this is so this is where each column name and all the descriptions about the column. So I just copied that. I can go to the Power BI and right-click, choose a new query, and go to web, and paste the URL, which is I just copied from the web page. And the Power BI talks to the web page, and it automatically pulls the data into the desktop. So it's not only that web page, you can use any web page. You can do it's more like a web scraping tool as well. So I can just click on that, and okay. So once I do that, so now it's Power BI desktop is pulling the data and putting it into the Power BI desktop. I want to remove this column, just remove. So it added a step over here, now what I want to do is I want to go over here and change I want to transpose it. Now instead of having the all as a column, it's transposed it into a rows. So once I transposed it, so this is the column where I has all my data with no column names. What I'm going to do now here is to this one, I'm just going to append the other query. So I can click on the append query if that is the right one. I think so. All right, never mind. So I can click on the append query, and what it does is it appends the previous query because it's just the same file with just the column names. Once I got my column names, there is another step saying use first row as my column names. So automatically, these things, if you use any other ETL tool, I worked with many other ETL tools, any other ETL tool, if you want to do this, it takes a lot of time, few hours sometimes. But even in the Power BI, it takes like a few clicks, but today it took long because I'm blind. But anyway, so like this, I imported just imagine I imported all the data into the Power BI. Once you imported data into the Power BI, like here, all the data appears over here. So each query I imported appears here. So this is a little data modeling tool where you can, all the queries you imported, you can see them over here. And once you imported the data, you can create the relationships. So if you have so much data, it's good. But if you don't have a good data model, it's not right, because the data modeling is very important. If your data modeling is wrong, it provides wrong results. So so that's the beauty of Power BI is it helps you to create your data modeling as well. So I created the data model. What I've got is the price by data, offset data, and the postcodes to join those two data models together. So once I've got that, this is a canvas I see, like a blank page. So let's see how quickly. I do have 5 minutes with no visibility. Well, so this is how how it feels when I get older and can't see things properly. Well, so let's name it Blind Me. And I can change the title and move it into the center. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to this is a challenge for myself. So I've got price and locality. Let's get that because that's the only thing I can see. So what I did is I just dragged and dropped a table, and I'm gonna change the value size to something bigger so we all can see. Oh, there you go. So what it is, I created a table, and I can this is not a great way of showing. I actually wanted to show some amazing cool stuff, but obviously you know why I can't. But you can also see where we are paying where the average price is high. So what I did is I just dragged and dropped the price over here. And once I dragged and dropped, if I click on here, I have many other, I can create measures just like in Excel, if you have a numeric value, you can sum, count, distinct, calculate average and all those things. So I dragged over here and then I calculated average. So now I can create a chart. This is not a great chart, but anyway, just with a single click, you can change your charts. So if I'm not happy with this chart, and if I want to change it to something more nice looking, well, something colorful. Yeah, so, and the other good thing is you can actually add, for example, this is not a nice chart to show. So let's add locality here, and I can quickly change the locality to a filter, a slicer, and change it to a drop down. Now I can just choose the ones I want, so at least it looks a bit better. And I know we can't see anything, so that's why we have to make it nice and colorful. At least we can see colors. when we can't see data. But you can format it very, very nicely. In a way, what I thought to do today in this demo is to create this. Like literally in 10 minutes, I would have done it if I was not having these kind of screen issues. But anyway, so what I did is I just added a text box saying the price by data. I added 2 slices. So I dragged and dropped the data onto my canvas, and I created a slicer, and then a simple table with the property type and some column, and a little chart. And this is showing the number of sales over the months, like from January to August, when was most of the sales was. So it looks like it's June, that's when most of the sales are. And that explains, because that's holidays time, it's easy to move. So probably that's why most of the people complete their sales in June. And here, what I've got is, I've got postcodes. So from postcodes, I've got postcodes as a slicer. So if anyone fancy telling me that, well, not fancy, anyone want to tell their postcodes, just the first bit, first outcodes? MK. All right, let's see MK4. I'm blindly thinking the first one is MK4, and because I closed my Zoom it, I can't even see what is it saying. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to increase the size so we can see what is the average price. So I'm hoping that's MK2, Milton Keynes, and the average price at the Milton Keynes is 297. They have 6 schools for at that space, and if you look at the schools they have there, so you can prove me if I'm right or wrong. So if you know the schools around you, are they right? Yeah. So what it is if you take different examples. So well, I used to live at a place called WD17. And obviously, I can't afford it, so I moved away. But the average price is 757,000, and it explains why. Because they have all the ones means outstanding schools. They have 5 outstanding schools and 1 good school. So that explains how schools impacts on the price you pay. So this is something I created. I thought to create like within 10 minutes. But if you actually spend some good amount of time and want to do something nice, you can do nice looking reports as well. So what I did, you can have some really nice lovely maps and things. But what I have here is, this data, I pulled it from Zoopla. So these are live advertisements in the Zoopla. So you can actually create your own property search with open data available out there within an hour or 2. So I imported all the price data, Zoopla data, and Ofsted data. I can slice and dice my data based on the district I want. So what I can do is I can do some analysis and find out where we have the good average price, where they have good schools. And if I want to go and move there, I can go for it based on my income. Or if I want to buy it for investment, I can go and find some really nice cool places where they have really nice schools and do it for investment purpose. So this is not like a go and create a property app or something like that. This is the purpose of this this demo is that explains it's pretty much like a show, isn't it? It's like I'm struggling and juggling around here. So what it is there is this tool called Power BI Desktop and the Power BI Service. The Power BI Desktop is free. You can download it. Whatever the data available out there, just play with any data. I created dashboards with showing some random data set. You can go and pull Twitter data, Brexit. You don't have to read any newspaper. You can do your own analysis on the Brexit and see who is moaning about, oh, Trump. How nice it is. You can do some really nice sentimental analysis on Trump's tweets. So yeah, there is plenty of data out there. This is a fantastic tool. Go play with it, and within few seconds you can install, and within few hours you can create a really nice dashboard. Play with it, play with your company data, organizational data, show it to the users, and once you have the data, once you create something, you can publish it to the Power BI service, and when it's in the service, anyone can access it in their iWatch if they want, mobiles, or you can embed it to your applications or anything. So if you have any questions, please come and talk to me. Session didn't go the way I planned, but anyway, I hope you got the message. The message is go and download Power BI Desktop and create dashboards. Thank you. Well, at least I finished on time. Did I? You have any questions? Yes, please. Oops.
How does this compare to Tableau?
Do we have any actual Tableau people? No? Better. No, so I can't, I'm not, well, if you ask me, I would always say better. But I'm trying to put my words very nice and wisely. So there are some features which are available in Power BI which are not available in Tableau. It's like data modeling and things like that. And most of the organizations are pretty much on the Windows-based organizations. Power BI integrates really well with Office 365, Excel, PowerPoint, all the things that we generally use every day. And it's amazingly cheaper compared to Tableau. So.
Free.
Well, Power BI Desktop is free. Power BI Power BI Service is free. But there are some pro features. If you want to share, and if you want to create apps, or if you want to embed, that's when they charge. So Power BI Pro license is $10 per month. So it's like a lot cheaper than Tableau. I should not say this. If they are not recording me, then I would have said something. Yes. If the next speaker is here, please feel free to come and take the stage.
We still have a couple of minutes.
All right. Okay. Oh, my turn. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. My question is in terms of licensing. If you have a tool in order to give a solution to clients, how easy is to publish and embed this into, let's say, in your website, embed it in different tiers, and perhaps sell, depending on the tier, different availability to data?
Yeah. So what Power BI enables you to do is it has the row level security. So if that's what you meant by tier, so if manager is allowed to see some data and the salesperson is not allowed to see some data, so you can you can create the row level security in your data model. I can show you after the event how easy it's. So if you have your data ready, and if you have your row level security and everything is ready, and if you know exactly what you want, if you want to just create a super simple dashboard like I did today, then you can do it in a day and publish it with one single click if you already have Office 365 account.
Yeah. However, I think they charge per sessions, isn't it?
Oh, the embedding, that's changed now. So what they have is, well, it is still a session, so but it's more like it's based on the interactivity. So if you go there, how much data you're pulling and how much interactivity you're doing between each visual, that's how they charge. Before, like literally a few months ago, it was based on the refresh. It's like how many times you refresh the page, but that was not fair enough. Now they changed their price model. They have new price model called EM1. It's more like embedded. Is it EB or E1, something like that. It starts with E, and it's much better compared to what it used to be. But again, if you want to embed outside organization and have the row level security, that's when you need the proper embedded license. But if you want to create something, and if you anyway want to show it to public, for example, open data, all the government sites, they show the data, right? So that information you can just publish, and that's free.
I'll speak up.
Yeah. No worries. Any more questions? No worries. All right, cool. Thank you.